Good morning folks, and welcome to another helping of Mr H's Hot Pot. I'm joined today by Mrs H and the girls, and we've come for a bit of a ramble around Rufford through the fields. We're going to walk down by the River Douglas, and then we're going to work our way around and come back down via the canal. So without further ado, let's crack on. Our first objective is to get across this farmer's field here. We are on a public footpath, so he can't come out with his old shotgun. Right then, off we go. Come on, girl. Okay folks, well as you can see the rain started to come in. It's looking a bit grey and miserable here. Typically when we're in the middle of the fields and there's nowhere to shelter. I do apologise for any wind that's on camera. As you can probably see with that turbine in the background there, that windmill, it's whapping round at a furrow rate of knots. We've moved away from the River Douglas now, and as I said, we're in the middle of the fields. Today's walk will be about 6 kilometres, so if we do get a bit wet, you know, we'll not be wet all day type of thing. Well, I'm wittering on a bit, and hopefully that road's not too far off, so I'm going to make my way, or we are going to make our way towards it. Come on girls, let's not hang about here. Well, we can see the road now. It's coming up on us in the distance. I don't know if you can just hear it or in the background there. Probably not. Now that clunking that's in the background is coming from that little square building there, which looks like an house just on the distance. But what that actually is a pump house, and it works all the sluices that's in this area that keeps this ground dry. I mean, there's a big drainage channel at the side of us here. Don't know if you can just see that on camera. And whilst it resembles a river, it's not, it's just simply a drainage channel. It must get very, very wet up here. I used to work up here in a previous life about, what, 9-10 years ago, is it now, Mrs H?
Something like that.
And I'll show you where I used to work. I used to work in a care home as an handyman. And all these fields, when I used to come to work at times when there'd been heavy rain, they was all underwater. You know, and you were sort of going through in your car, in the old jalopy. I was like sort of taking my time through. So yeah, that pump house over there must have to work overtime, and it must be a pretty good bloody pump in there. Right then, as I said, the road's just up ahead, so we'll get on that. I don't know if we'll be able to do much filming there, because obviously we've got the dogs on the lead, and there's traffic and it's an A road. So this is a closer look at that little pump house. As you can see, the river that's coming out from it and making its way into the drainage channel. Like I say, it must have to work overtime, that pump, to control probably the river and any rainwater that comes on off these fields. They've done a good job really in making it blend in with the rest of the landscape, you know, rather than having a big concrete carbuncle just sticking out like a sore thumb. But still, you can't spoil the look of the land too much, can you? Anyway, we'll push on. Well, we've made it to the main road. We're going to get on in a bit and walk down. I think it's going to be a bit too busy and a bit too noisy to do any filming on the Croston road, so you'll have to join me when we get back on the canal. But we're going to get on there now. I'm going to clip the dogs on the lead, because obviously safety first. Now, just as you come out onto the main road, you come out near a bridge, a road bridge, which is known as Great Hanging Bridge. I don't know why it has that name. Maybe somebody who watches this video can tell us the local history of the place. Maybe there was an hanging tree here at one time in the dim and distant past. As we can see, it looks like there's been a bit of a road accident here, and a car or some vehicle has smashed into it. It must have hit it with a fair old smack to knock those stones into the river below. There's lots of smashed glass and bits of plastic on the road. So yeah, does anybody out there know why this is called Great Hanging Bridge? Just making our way down the road, and we're on the border between Croston, which is in the Chorley borough, and West Lancashire there in the distance. And there's some lovely properties up and down these roads. I'll just show you this farmhouse here now, which is hidden by this rather ugly green building. And as you can see, they're just peeping out. There's a lovely farmhouse here. I don't know how old it is. Probably been here a lot longer than the green building and that aircraft hangar type building. But just look at that. Amazing to think that that's probably been there hundreds of years. And just look at all the land here that this guy obviously owns, farms and works. brilliant here. I'd love to move out here somewhere like this. Then again, have I got the wherewithal to work a farm? Probably not. Right then, well, as you can see, we've made it to the canal. A bit quieter here, and I think there's a bit more bits and pieces to see along this one. There's quite a few moorings along here. Just turn around there, Mrs H. You can just see there some boats. So this is like a little bit of a marina area. Somebody's got a flag out there. Back off the road, I thought it was the Belgian flag, but it's actually a beer tankard, so somebody's got a sense of humour somewhere. Well, here's something you don't see every day. Things being moved via the canal anymore. It looks like it's got one of those big, I don't know what that would be, whether it be a 20-ton digger or whatever it is on it. Slowly chugging away towards us. Let's see if it can make it under the bridge.
Easy.
Easy. See, the only problem with that, you can't let her out at tyres and just drop it a little bit, get it under, can you? But yeah, it's going to make it easier. Whether it's going to moor up here on this area, because it's, as I've just said, that looks like a toilet block and that, so obviously this is a little area for where all bargees come. Nobody ever answered me that one, what we call people who use canal boats. I call them bargees. I'm probably insulting them saying that, aren't I? Yeah, he's going to make it easy. Now, as you can see, there's another one of those swing bridges that I showed in a previous video when I was walking down the canal bank. And we're going to get the chance to actually see this one in operation, because those guys with that machinery are coming up and the only way past it is to open it. So we'll just hang around a bit here now and we'll see how one of these operates, shall we? So as I suspect, they undo a lock at that side and then they just open it like a lock gate. Now, I thought it would have took more than one man to do that, but it's pretty easy. He's doing it with one hand. And it's as easy as that. And time just right. The barges don't even need to pause, they can just go straight through. Moving back actor over, so I don't know what part here that is, unless it's to pull it along. Just need it, get a bit of power up, or it's bottomed out a bit there. Lucky that was on it. As this is going on YouTube, let's hope they've got all the safety gear on and everything they should have.
Can't see any faces, they're fine.
I wonder if they pull that one. Well, they can't, can he? He won't be able to reach that other one behind it. I don't think they'd have to do that, get through there, would you?
No. So is that thing on there to just get it through that?
No,
or
I think
are they moving it?
It's being transported. Probably the weight of it pushing it down at this end. Motor at back mustn't be powerful enough to push it. They didn't have any of these mechanical things in the olden days, did they though?
They'd have to get it wetter and push it.
Yeah. Used to have horses, didn't they though? Pull them along.
Quite a feat that to fit that through that space.
Oh yeah. Rosie.
Biggest thing on Canal she'll have a go at.
Well, that's it. Smallest thing on Canal having a go at biggest thing.
No, it's permanently attached.
Alright. Must be for dredging then. There we go, it's as simple as that. We even saw money change hands, didn't we, Mrs H?
We
10
did.
bob or something like that. Right then, we'll go and call this dog off these boatmen now. Now we're along the canal path and at the part where Rufford Old Hall is, which is just through those trees there. Now it's owned by the National Trust, it's part of their properties, and if you have one of those annual passes, the 12-month thing, you can go and visit it along with any other National Trust property. But me and Mrs H actually know a little scam to get in there for nothing, don't we?
We do.
We actually visited it in 2009, looking for wedding venues for us to get married the following year, and it was a serious consideration at the time. So we went in and we met these dotty old dears, didn't we, who was running it. I'm sorry, dotty old dears, if you're watching this video, but we wasn't really impressed with the fact that you'd be running our wedding, so we decided against it in the end. But they actually let us then walk around the place for nothing. So what you need to do, any of you who are married, is just go up, take your wedding rings off and say, well, we're thinking of getting married and choosing this as a venue. You'll have a bit of a talk with them and go through all the rooms, which you'll get to see the property, which we did. You get a guided tour free of charge, and then they'll just let you walk around it for the rest of the day. Anyway, that's my tip for the day. So we're now going to move on because this canal bird is catching us up. And this is the other side, which is a bit more impressive. As you can see, it looks like a bit of a castle. I'm sure it's got a resident ghost in there again. Anybody who knows any local history of Rufford, let me know in the comments below if there is a resident ghost at Rufford Old Hall.
I'm sure there will be.
Oh yes, yes, there always is with those sort of places. It's a selling point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although we've had a few spooky things on our travels, time or two. Anyway, this is the main road now near Fettler's Wharf Marina. And as I say, I'll show you where it was I used to work. Well, I'm now stood outside of Olsley Lodge, which is just across the road from Fettler's Wharf Marina in Rufford. And this is where I used to work as an handyman. About, what, 10 years ago was it now, Mrs H?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's very little of what I put up still there now, looking at it. I rebuilt one or two of these pillars on the front, they're still standing. But it's changed massively, I got a big renovation. It used to be the old Farmer's Arms public house, and it was owned by the owner who owned Fettler's Wharf Marina across the road, and he turned it into a care home. Once you got in there, there was nothing in there from time it had been a pub. I think I only found a matchbox with a picture on it in all that time in boiler room. But yeah, it was quite interesting talking to residents at the time, although it was sad that obviously they passed away and you saw many people change rooms type of thing. But yeah, they had some really interesting stories and they'd lived some really interesting lives. But I moved on for better money, as that's always the case. Anyway, I think we'll leave our little video here now, because as I say, we're not far from where we started and we're almost back at the car. So, until the next time, from Rufford, from Mrs H, from myself, and as always from the girls, it is bye-bye for now.